Other great houses take lions and wolves for their sigils, and draw their power from the gold in their mountains or the cold of their winters. But mountains run dry, winter yields to spring, and the rose blooms once more.
Hey guys, it is Scotch for Dummies.
4 guys on a Scotch journey to help you with your next Scotch purchase.
What are we drinking?
We got fighting
What
clams
are
on
we
the
drinking?
bar, apparently.
No,
Hey,
it's a rose.
I wasn't. How do you keep a Scottish river in check?
Don't do it.
You put it on a Clynelish. That was bad joke.
Someone doesn't get to drink.
All right.
He's banned.
Oh, good times.
Banned.
I am not the Game of Thrones guy. This guy's the Game of Thrones guy, but what I'm going to talk to him about is this distillery here, Clynelish, right? So we've done one. We did the 14, right?
Did we?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
We drank a bottle of it.
I don't know if we did a
reviewed it. I think
review.
this is our first review of it, to be honest.
So-
but anyway.
Interesting
It's a great
distillery. It's right on the coast, like they can throw a rock and hit the ocean, right? On
Yep.
the east coast of Scotland, northeast
Up there.
coast.
No,
Really far
north.
north.
It's pretty far up there, north of Balblair, right?
That's right. Yeah, Glenmorangie.
So, when the distillery was built, the royal that owned the land evicted 15,000 men, women, and children off the land to make room for sheep.
What?
Because
Sheep
they were more economical.
Sheep are important, man.
You know what I'm saying?
You make more money with sheep.
Anyway, he built this distillery. It operated for quite some time. Then they built a new distillery, which was also called Clynelish. You had Clynelish A and Clynelish B. Well, that seemed confusing to people. So
why.
they renamed Clynelish A Brora. Right?
Makes
Hayes
sense.
Brora.
Now, Brora was making whiskey that was also named Clynelish. So they were confusing people. There was a lot of confusion going on, and so Brora was mothballed, and they just went with Clynelish Distillery, the newer distillery. Brora shut down in 1983, I believe. But I think that it's getting started back up. But that's not why we're here.
Yeah,
we're here
that's
for
a different story.
Clynelish.
I will say the cool thing about that distillery is that from a boat you can see it from the like a little hill, and it's a whole big side of windows. Like they're just huge windows. You can see. I think it's like 5 or 6 different
Stills in there?
Look into the
Just
stills.
bring it in the air, right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, in honor of that location, the humidity, relative humidity, 94% at the distillery. So that's why coin 94.
Wow.
Coin.
All right,
Right on the ocean. How can it not be 94?
You want this coin? You want it.
So
I
tell
will
me,
say this distillery's whiskey is valued for blends.
sure.
Not just Johnny Walker. There's a lot of people who like this. It's got a characteristically waxy smell and
Supposedly.
flavor profile.
Maritime,
apparently.
maybe even.
Maritime. There's a little bit of maritime going on
what's
because
going
they're right
with-
on the
Look at
coast.
this.
Tell me about it.
House of Tyrell. So what do we know
can't
about
forget
House
that.
of Tyrell? The only thing I know is, I'm sorry, what was her name again?
Marjorie.
Marjorie. She married Joffrey, the king,
Yes.
right?
Oh,
And then
Brad.
unfortunately, that guy was a pain in the ass.
They got rid of him,
He got
though.
rid of him quickly, thank God. And then she tried to marry his brother. Then I'm not going to spoil it, Game of Thrones, but that's what
Too
the
late
whole
now.
Tyrell
died.
is about. And then they're kind of manipulative. But the whole thing about their, what'd you call it again?
Fighting clams.
Fighting clams. Or
It's a rose.
rose growing strong, right?
Like
Stronger.
bull.
Like bull. All right.
So
Enough talking.
part of the reason is, this is supposedly a floral with some sea spray.
Man,
Holy moly.
Is it good?
yeah.
So what makes this one different from the rest of the lineup? This bad boy is bottled at 51.2%.
And you can
I
the
knew I
nose.
liked it for some reason.
And this is not an age. This is Clynelish Reserve.
Woo!
So we don't have
Yeah.
an age. It's potentially
It's floral and sweet with a hint of like sea spray.
You got it. Nailed it. I was going to say all that.
That's what he do.
That's what he do.
Well, that's definitely stronger on the nose.
And
with that
seaweed
ABV.
even.
Oh yeah. How you doing? It's like saltwater taffy and
I smell that sweetness in there.
Wow, this is
Sugar.
good.
I can see why Compass Bucks likes this.
oh yeah. I can see why everybody likes it. It's good class, man.
So this
Wow.
is a primary. The Clynelish new make is a primary component of Johnny Walker Gold Reserve is what they tell us. So like, and 95% of all their distillate goes to Johnny Walker. So that's their big thing. That's why you don't see a lot of bottles listed as Clynelish.
51.2. What's the price? Anyone?
$60.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was lost.
NAS.
I was lost in the mouth feeling here. At 51% is there, but it almost gives like a menthol feeling on my tongue. I mean,
That's the alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, not to the point where it burns the crap out of you, like some cask strength. It's not that way. It's
not methanol.
And I wouldn't say that because this is not my first glass.
Have you ever tasted scotch before?
Like gladiator movies?
Yes, I do.
Wow, this is pretty good. I mean, this is up there with the log.
Interesting though.
This one is something that I think I could just sit for a while and nose it and enjoy it. It's not overly complex, like it's not trying to be anything crazy, but it's a good glass, and I love that they bottled it at a higher ABV. Why 51.2?
Well, yeah, I don't know.
Is this the highest?
It was the age of the malt master. He was 51 and some change.
I didn't know if it had anything to do with the house or
He was 94 years old when he was.
the clams.
No, I'm looking for it to say somewhere on there, non-chill filtered, or not, or because
I would have expected more at 51%.
I wouldn't expect them to chill filter it at 51.2%, but it doesn't say otherwise. Now,
Why would you chill filter?
No, he's not chill filter. No way.
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't say natural coloring either, so I have to assume that there's
No, I can see that.
If you guys know, comment below. Please let us know so we can
Because
educate everybody.
the key is, I'm sure these are not like brand new bourbon barrels. These are going to be old barrels that have.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so I'm sure there's color in that.
I mean, it was good, neat, but the water,
It does. The nose is better.
it's really, really good.
Like strawberries? I don't know. You get some berry of some kind.
Yeah, there is a berry to it. I got that as soon as you said that.
I get pears.
The water really opened that up.
I think it's sweet.
There's a better maltiness to it on the palate
Yeah.
too.
It's just really
The water really made it sweeter too.
Yeah.
Did you put water on?
I'm working on it.
So it's weird, we say we like these high BVs, but then we had water and it's now they're good.
Well,
but that's
but not always. I mean, and it lets you kind of dial down to where you want to be. I mean, if you're at 40%, most of the 40s, you've got nowhere to go. Like, there's been a few that we put water on and you're like, oh yeah, that's still okay. But you just
I'm not going to disagree with you, but most judges, when they're judging on whiskeys, they water it down to 28%, something like that, 25%. I mean, so
Well, it's
don't say you have nowhere to go. Somewhere's
I'm not saying
going.
you're doing it wrong.
It's not just about lowering the ABV too. It does change the flavor. Other things come out because of that too. So I mean, it's not just about blending it to get it to 50 or 49 or whatever.
I wish we had a scientist that could explain all that.
I might be able to work on that. I'm
That's
I'm
what you've
building
been
the
saying.
molecules.
Man,
So
that
this
water
is-
good.
This is what, $60?
Who's ready? Anybody?
Man,
I gotta explore this. This is more complex than I was expecting.
That's a good thing.
I can talk through it.
This is definitely more to it than the rest
You
of
need
them
a
so
second?
far.
It definitely not.
There's lemon on the nose now, and
It
then
is-
there's tangerine on the nose.
It's
Yeah.
definitely not chill filtered. Because you had water, it's cloudy now.
Oh, it is cloudy. Yeah. Wow. Good point.
All right. So, as we're tasting our way through the Game of Thrones series, I'm kind of approaching it from a newbie standpoint, right? Somebody who's bought this bottle because they like Game of Thrones, not necessarily because they like Scotch. Because I don't know anything about Game of Thrones, but I know a little bit about Scotch. Not to be dangerous,
You've
right?
been there, things, yeah.
All right, so fighting clams.
Growing strong.
I like that. I really like that they bottled this one at a high ABV because I think it gives a very unique data point for people if they're buying the whole series. It makes it stand out a little bit. the Clynelish Distillery itself, like this Scotch is good. Like I love it neat. I love it with water. It's got enough in there that, you know, if you were just wanting to sit down and have a glass and just have a glass, you don't have to think about it too much. It's going to be a good glass. You can drink it and enjoy it. If you wanted to sit and really pick this apart, it's got a lot of stuff. Like Drew said, tangerines a second ago, and I was like, oh yeah, I totally get tangerines now. It's got a lot of things going on. With water, it opened it up, brought the sweetness forward. There's a lot more in there that I didn't realize at the higher ABV. So that's always a fun experiment to just kind of see where your angle lands you. $60. I mean, it's an NAS, but it's a higher ABV, so I'm going to give it kudos for that. I'm going to go with a 2.5. I almost talked myself into a 3 just because I really enjoyed it, but I think a solid 2.5 plus is where I'm landing with this one.
Just come back to you maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to keep drinking.
Have at it.
All right.
I'll go. So this I like this one. You know, of the brand, it's not my favorite of the Game of Thrones lineup, but this has more character, more complexity, more interest to me. I've added a couple layers of water to it. I think I might have overwatered it a little bit at the end, but even still, the finish tends to maintain even with the extra water on it. It isn't. You're right. It's not complex. There's no smoke. There's no rich flavors. There's no. But it's kind of got that subtlety that you really have to work for. If you want to work for. If you don't, you just wash it over your tongue and let it sit and let it air out. I'm going to give it a 2.5 because this has enough complexity in it that's interesting to me. It is not my wheelhouse, but it is. It's a fun glass to try and work through, and that is something I have to give credit to Clynelish and the ABV that they gave it to allow you to kind of work with it. So 2.5 for me for sure.
You know what? I love that phrase. It is a fun glass. It is a fun glass. I mean, and that tells you right there. Something that you can kind of experiment with a little bit. The neat was great. Anything with a higher ABV, I'm obviously a big fan of right now. But I mean, you can tell that there's some stuff in there to kind of dive into, to kind of manipulate a little bit. The neat was great. You could get in there and you can find some things in the nose. You can get in the palate, short finish, dry finish. But when you add water to it, it opens up even more doors for me, especially if you can dial it down to what you want. I think I got mine down to like maybe 49 right now, and it's perfect for me. I don't know what it is, but
49%.
I'm just putting a number out there for fun.
Let me pull the analyzer out.
You blow it. I love it though. I think the fact that this is, I'm digging this glass right now. The fact that you can actually pull different flavors, it's sitting here and evolving. I'm going to pour some more when we're done here because I really like this one. For $60, I mean, so far this is my, it's up there with a Lagavulin 9 for me right now. I mean, it's really, really good. I think it's something that I would actually probably go buy, tomorrow if I had a chance to buy this one. I'm going to give this one a solid 3. The price is a little high, but I mean, you know what? It's worth it, especially with the collector's piece of it. I think you should definitely own this bottle.
I give it a solid 3 without even thinking about it. I say that because I think there's a lot more to this dram than some of the other ones that we've had. I like the sweetness about it. I love the ABV factor on it, and I was able to play with it a little bit more. And I could sit here and try to analyze this glass for another 30 minutes because it's got me just thinking about it every time I take another sip or another sniff. I think it handled water wonderfully. I think it brought out a little bit more with the water. I still think there's a mentholy effect on my tongue, on my palate a little bit. And you can say it's the alcohol until you're blue in the face, but it's probably watered down to about 44% now, so I'm not going to go there. But I think it's really interesting. I think it's a fun glass. I think it's because I'm sitting here wanting to continue to try to break it down and figure it out. It's an NAS, so but I'm not going to beat it up over that. For $60, I think you're getting a good quality glass. And I like the Distillery for that matter. So I'm gonna stick with a 3 and go there.
It's funny. I didn't read the box or the can before we got on here, and it says, while this vibrant golden Scotch is light and floral like House Tyrell, it's not to be underestimated with its underlying complex combination of Highland and Maritime.
There you go.
Not even reading that, we pulled that out.
Yeah, we did.
There's something here that's different than the other
Flowers and clams.
Quickly around the horn, where'd you go?
I did 2.5. I
got
think we're
three.
staying there.
253.
I got a 3.
Can you do the math?
I got it.
2.75.
275.
Math is easy.
Guys, we're live every Thursday night. Mark,
Cheers.
hit the
Cheers.
subscribe button. Like
Right now?
We'll see you.
Hit it. Sláinte.